Hi everybody, thanks for tuning into the channel. My name is Nate Stewart. I'm a mortgage loan officer here in Puerto Rico. This video is all about the question, can you do a closing for a real estate purchase or refinance from a distance? And you've probably heard that the answer is yes. What? Yes, it can be done. The details get a little complicated, but so basically, yes, that can be done. However, what you're going to need to do is what's called a power of attorney, right? A POA. And there's very specific requirements, especially if you're using financing. So the main recommendation would be to get your power of attorney documentation, get all of that stuff filled out while you're in Puerto Rico, and do it with an attorney who is a real estate attorney, preferably the same attorney that would be doing the mortgage deed at your closing. Okay. So if you have questions about these things, please reach out. I'm happy to help and advise so that you don't get stuck. Because let's say that you go just do any old power of attorney and you think that you're good to go. Not any old power of attorney is going to get the job done. There's very specific requirements that lenders have of what exactly needs to be on that power of attorney documentation, the name of the lender, the loan number, everybody's legal name, like a whole bunch of very specific information. Anything that's missing and any way that you don't officialize the documentation correctly, that could trip you up at closing when you're in process, right? So basically, the main recommendation is you could get a power of attorney done, do it in Puerto Rico, right? Do it with the attorney for your lender. That is like the best way to do it. Now, let's say that you're not able to make that happen, that you're already back in the mainland, you're not going to be able to attend the closing for some reason. How can you close at a distance when you can't get to Puerto Rico? So what you would want to do is reach out again to the same attorney for the lender that could help with that POA. Basically, they would draft up a bunch of the documents. They can email you those documents. You could print them out. Then you would take them to a notary public that has to be a notary public in the U.S. that has like their decree number or like their like notarization number that's in the public database, right? If they're not in the public database, it's not going to work because we're going to have to be able to verify that they are. This is like a recent change to the laws in Puerto Rico. Used to have to be like only a notary in Puerto Rico could do this, but now it can get done from a distance. Though you might get some pushback from other folks that are not aware that the rules have changed. But anyway, take it to a notary public in the U.S., preferably like clerk of a court. That would be like the best one to get if you can make that happen. Get the thing notarized, then you're going to basically certified mail it back to the same attorney. And then whoever your designee is, that person would have to appear and wet sign the documents, they call it, like pen to paper, old school. There's no electronic signatures for closings in Puerto Rico. So, but your designee would then have to, on the same day as the sellers, meet and sign all of the closing documentation. And then you could do a closing from a distance without having come to Puerto Rico, right? So it can be done. It just requires a bunch of steps and a bunch of time, right? Because you're going to have to have that meeting with the attorney, right? Which could be done, at a distance. They're going to have to draft up the documentation, send it to you, printing it out, going and getting it notarized, and then mailing it back. And then your designee has to show up in person, right? And so that is how it can be done. There's lots of little steps in there where things can go wrong. And I've seen it happen before where a power of attorney wasn't done correctly. It didn't get accepted by the lender and there was not a closing able to happen. Like massive. That's heartbreaking because every single other thing was done in the process through underwriting and on the seller's side and on everybody's side, title work, insurance, everything. And then they just didn't do their power of attorney right. And it's like, oh my God, now we can't close. And so that is definitely a situation you want to avoid. And so if you have questions, if you want to know how can you do a closing from a distance, how to get the power of attorney part done, anything like that, or you want to know good attorneys that can help with that, let me know. Happy to help provide that information. But anyway, thanks very much for watching and I'll see you next time.